Welcome, everybody, and we are fired up for another sensational college football matchup. Nobody at home today who can stake their claim in this neutral site showdown. Maybe you need a little caffeine, or maybe the sheer energy of this matchup will keep you wide awake, as we know anything can happen when you kick off after dark. As we'll see a squad from the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners, taking on a team from the Big Ten, the Michigan Wolverines. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. Welcome, everybody, and we are fired up for another sensational college football matchup. Nobody at home today who can stake their claim in this neutral site showdown. There's just something about the nightcap. After a day of wall-to-wall football, it just seems this is when chaos ensues. As we'll see a squad from the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners, taking on a team from the Big Ten, the Michigan Wolverines. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. The Sooners will put total leather and we'll get started. From inside his own 15, looking for a crib. And the return man has no place to run, no place to hide, and a place to be tackled. here for the offense. Wide receiver now comes in motion. Well, jet sweep pass. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. The Wolverines headed quickly to the line. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Still sitting at their own 20 after that last one. Here's 2nd and 10. Quickly out to the tight end. They make the stop, but this passing game does some damage, and they move the sticks with the first down. Making great decisions, that's what all of the legendary Michigan quarterbacks have done. John Navarre, Elvis Gerbach, and the guy I can't remember drafted in the 6th round by the Patriots.
Yeah, well, that guy, what was his name? Tom Brady? Yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah, he was pretty good too. But when you think about Michigan, you don't always think about the quarterbacks, and you don't always think about airing it out. But again, if you want to be a great college football team nowadays, you better be able to throw that pigskin.
To the air, it's Orji. And the quarterback is snowed under.
Play-action pass success has a lot to do with selling that fake. You could tell defense was not buying it. Got in the backfield, got the big play.
And the Wolverines will punt this one away. Looking for a block. It's Burks. He did a great job finding some running room on that return and was able to set up the offense with good field position. Down. Here comes this offense. He wants to start this drive with a pass. Complete downfield. And the explosive play, and they're on the move all the way to the 44. First down here for the offense. He's looking to throw it. He gets rid of it, but I don't think they're going to let him get away with that. Nope, here comes the flag. Now on 2nd down. Defense trying to keep this offense from getting a line on who to block. Dances away from the heat. Chunked it away just as he was hit. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down.
Well, the defense is fast. If you can hit that quarterback with his speed and force those incompletions, man, that is impressive.
I'm not positive, but that first down marker might be in the next county. Quarterback changing the plays at the line. On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. Got his man.
And listen, the defense knew coming into this one, they were going to target him early and often. He is a weapon, and there's no mystery where the quarterback's going to be looking on critical down and distances. Let's see how they're able to cover him throughout the rest of this game.
Looking to throw it again. Now he's going to break the pocket. The short hands, it's Burks. He gets it all the way down to the 5-yard line. A terrific catch and run before he stopped.
And as a defense, how scary is it having to defend this guy? He's one of the fastest players in America, and you saw it on that last play. It's not necessarily throwing him the ball over your head. They just get it to him quickly. The hard part now is running and tackling that guy. Not easy to do.
To the air, it's Hawkins. Reels it in the end zone. Touchdown Sooners. Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. They put together a 5-play, 75-yard drive. And the score comes on a 5-yard touchdown pass. And And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. They just didn't quite find the rhythm on that last drive, Jesse. They had to punt it.
I think they got to be more physical, David. I think up front they got to do a better job getting blocks and establishing this running game.
And how easy does football become if you're the more physical team? If you can threaten the run and then run play action, it opens up the whole offense at your disposal.
Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver. Right back to the air on 2nd and 10. Starting to feel a little pressure. He'll turn it loose out to the right. It's complete. A huge pickup. Seizing that open space, an opportunity all the way inside the red zone. They'll mark it at the 19. The Wolverines want to crank the tempo. D showing blitz. They might be bluffing. The defense uses their second timeout of the half as they try to get their act together. They've moved it to the 19, 1st and 10. Looking to move it through the air. Release to the back. Caught.
I want to get my running backs the ball in space as much as possible. And sometimes it doesn't work in the running game, but I can throw it to them. I can try to create some space out wide, dump him the football, and let him make some catches and see if I can't get some big plays out of it.
Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Defense in press coverage. Corner's going to give them room. Back to pass, it's Orji. Quick completion on the out route. They make the tackle, but he's got a fresh set of downs, and it's 1st and goal from the 7. And the Wolverines are on the move. From the gun, he'll try to throw. Fires to the end zone. Oh, and it's a pick. He threw it right into the double coverage. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
How about that? They knew this defense was good defending the pass, but that had more to do with who's in the secondary, not necessarily who's up front. David, his best Pollock impersonation, picking that one off.
Yeah, baby, you don't get many opportunities to drop in coverage. You don't get many balls thrown your way, but when you do, you want to make sure you take advantage, showing off the athletic ability, showing the hands, the big defensive line.
Can anyone catch it? And he almost ran away from everybody on that one. A huge pickup on that play. Just the ability to move the chains, keep the drive going, sort of quintessential efficiency from a Sooner quarterback.
Yeah, and from a Sooner offense, because, Reese, they keep the drive going, but what does that do? Most Oklahoma teams over the years, we see them go fast, and they wear you down throughout a football game. So the quarterback play on those completions that move the sticks, that make you play 3 more plays, 4 more plays, 5 more plays, and just wear you out.
Coming after him. Got away from trouble and got rid of it. And that one is incomplete. It's the end of the first quarter.
Oklahoma 7, Michigan 0.
Second down now as they're ready to go back to work. Linebackers trying to create some confusion. To the air, it's Hawkins. Gonna take a shot. He's got it inside the 25. Just making a huge play, and he sets him up all the way down at the 14. The Sooners getting set on 1st and 10. Receivers telling the quarterback what they see. They're threatening to score, and they'll throw it. Dances away to buy time. Got to protect the merchandise. Gets down without taking a hit.
It's just so nice to have a QB under center. Nowadays in football, you can trust these guys. You put so much on their plate, and you tell them, go get positive yards when it's there. And a lot of these guys are such great athletes, they do it with ease.
The RPO, fire complete to the left. That throw and catch gets them down to the 6, and the defense is running out of answers.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
Well, they'd love to move the sticks here and take a shot at it on 1st and goal. He's going to look for a man on 3rd and short. Lets it fly. Fires the pass. Intercepted. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
How do you not get excited and out of your seat when you see the big boys making the little boys play? Listen, I know you DBs can do all that running around stuff and catch the football. I can too. I just do it in a sexier, bigger body. Yes, please.
They'll throw it on 1st down. Finds his back in the middle. And oh, he was off to the races after the catch, and they finally drag him down. The Wolverines come to the line in the hurry-up.
That's a really nice pass. You can see why this guy right here gives the Michigan faithful reason to be optimistic. You know, for years we know Michigan has always been good at running the football, but they've got to be able to throw. They've got to be more consistent, making big...
And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back at the 16. Now the offense has to overcome the negative play after the defense comes up with a sack. Defense a little too jumpy there, and they got into the neutral zone too soon. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. And now on 2nd down for this offense. Wide out in motion. And I don't think they got it snapped before the play clock ran out. And the offense will take that penalty and move a little bit closer. Offense gets set for 2nd down. Oh, this defense wants to bring some pressure. Defense didn't maintain its discipline there, and they get into the neutral zone. It'll cost them 5 yards. And they'll accept the penalty and push this offense backward. Second down coming up. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game. That is a completely avoidable penalty. The quarterback just went into brain lock and lost track of the play clock. This offense has a second down play. Touch pass on the jet sweep. Just ran him over. And he'll run across the sidelines after the good gain. And the Wolverines want to pick up the tempo. Looking to throw, it's Orji. Gets it out fast. And that had all the makings of Bud-Meat windshield. But how about the little corner taking on the big tight end and keeping him from getting the first? Quarterback quick pass to the receiver. Across the 45. Turns out to be an easy conversion for this offense as they move the chains on fourth down. Able to move the chains and they still have a chance after picking up the first down. Wide receiver shows motion. Try to get the edge with a quick touch pass. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. The hurry up now, second down, clock ticking. He's looking to throw. And the pass is incomplete, but it might not matter. Flag is down, and it looked as if the defense was roughing up that receiver.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referee's caught it.
He'll come out throwing on first down. Grabs it in the middle. Nice pitch and catch there, and they'll have enough for the first down. The Wolverines come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Trying to find his man on first down. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away. And here comes the offense on second down. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. Makes the grab. It's Edwards. Tackled almost immediately. They're well short of the first down. Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. Working the middle of the field, and it's complete. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains. Running back goes in motion. Now from inside the red zone. Moves away as he feels pressure. He's got his man. Stop at the 3, but it'll be enough to give them a first and goal. There's a timeout called as this offense tries to find a way to draw a little closer. And now a chance to pull even as we get late here in the first half. Wants to throw. It's Orji. He caught it. And he will score. Touchdown, Michigan.
Yeah, and the passing game comes through, man, and we need more of that in the second half. An extra point away from tying this football game. You trailed a little bit in the first half, stayed calm, but this passing game can continue to heat up. Look out in the second half.
And the extra point was good. And that extra point was good, and we're all tied up here in the second. From inside the 15, chance for a good return. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. The Sooner offense returns to the field. That last drive was promising for a while, but you just can't mess it up at the end with the pick, Jesse.
No, you got to be able to finish drives, especially in this game if you're going to win. And, David, they've got to be able to eliminate the many mistakes.
Yeah, and I don't think you get conservative or play it safe. You can trust your guy. I think you put the ball right back in his hands and let him do his thing.
Fires to the wideout. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And, Jesse, now their head's spinning just a little bit. Give up a big chunk play, and it's right back at them. The pass is incomplete, and 1 second is left.
Well, the quarterback knew he wanted to go to his tight end on that play. He's a big physical target, but it was the hit on the play that forced the incompletion.
So with only seconds left in the half, here comes the field goal unit. It's good, and that was dead solid perfect. And with that field goal, they now have the lead. So that's going to do it here in the first half. Stay tuned for the halftime break. And the Wolverines will boot it away to start the second half. It bounds through the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Time for this Sooner offense to go back to work. They had this lead to start the third quarter because of the passing game. Didn't get a lot done on the ground.
They did, but the quarterback is in a rhythm. That was obvious in the first half. And so this first drive, you want to continue that. You want to see good decision-making. You want to see him playing on time. And as always, delivering the football.
I mean, I don't know how I don't give him the football. It's the reason I built the lead. He's the guy that I can trust. This offense is built around him. So I expect more of the same here in the second half.
Off play action. Scrambling away. That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be third down.
And that was good defense again, and unfortunately we've been saying that all game long. Really, really good defense. Or, listen, you can spin on the other side. This offense has really been bad.
Dropping back, it's Hawkins. Finds his tight end.
One of the things I love about this defense is they just have such great awareness, and they're always communicating. They understood the down and distance. They knew exactly what they needed to do to make the tackle to force the punt. That is so well done.
On fourth down, they're taking to the air. The sweet feet keeping the play alive. He's going to take off. And a nice pickup on the run and gets down to avoid contact.
Hey, listen, it's important at that position to be able to be good off schedule. Everything's easy when it's on time. You can get the ball out. But when things break down and they get off schedule, you've got to have a guy back there that can make the right decisions. He did exactly that.
And the Sooners have it with a 1st and 10. The receivers often will run their route based on a side adjustment. They'll throw it on 1st down. And they couldn't hold off the heat, and he goes down with the sack.
And the defense needed that one badly. They're losing in this game. They just gave up a big play, so they finally get the sack, but you feel like they're going to need more than that. They're going to need some turnovers to get back in this game.
Throws to the wideout. Got his man downfield. And he'll ramble to the 34 before he's finally knocked down.
Well, he's able to make it easy after that catch, and I think his speed is something that just scares DBs to death. When you think about great Oklahoma receivers recently, guys like CeeDee Lamb, Sterling Shepard, Hollywood Brown, DBs gave them so much cushion because they were afraid they were going to get run by, and I think that's how defenses treat this guy too. With his speed and his playmaking ability, he scares you to death, and that cushion helps him out tremendously.
Fires and picked off. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
QB never saw the defender. He's staring his receiver down, telegraphing his throw, and the DB jumped all over that.
And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. The sledding has been tough. Scores have been at a premium, Jesse, and every possession seems like it could switch the momentum of the game.
Yeah, Reese, for this offense, just feels like they just haven't been as physical.
Fires into traffic. It's picked off. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
And we know turnover margin is a huge part of winning ball games. Interception number 2. The quarterback has to do a better job taking care of the football. Don't force it. Take the high completion percentage stuff. Don't always try to go for the big play.
They are so close to a score they can smell it on the first play of the drive. 1st and goal. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. And the sudden change situation even more difficult for this defense facing a first and goal. Quarterback will audible. They'll move the running back to try to force the defense to adjust. Looking to throw, it's Hawkins. Lets it go to the end zone. Falls incomplete, and he did everything perfectly except catch the football. Second down coming.
Well, I love the coverage on defense. In the red zone, everyone's got their eyes on the quarterback, and they're flying to the football, and you saw that there on the incompletion.
Can the defense stop them again on second and goal? And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Oklahoma! The offense did exactly what it's supposed to do with a start like that one.
When you're set up with that field position, you're thinking touchdowns. You're not thinking field goals. It's exactly what the offense does. Takes advantage of great field position.
And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. The kickoff team out there getting set. And they thought about a return, then thought better of it. They'll bring it out to the 25. Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. The deficit here is just 10 points, David, so a chance to answer here.
Plenty of time left in this football game. No need to panic. This offense just has to put a couple drives together. And listen, the defense will get this back and get some stops following and get you the football back.
And I think here too, David, you have an opportunity to keep the pressure on the opponent. Yeah, they just went down and scored, but you score here, and this game's still tight. You keep their feet to the fire, so an opportunity here to keep applying that pressure.
Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance.
Doesn't take this defense a lot of time to get to the quarterback, man. They've got speed all over the place. They hit him so quickly, and because of that, the ball falls incomplete.
Back to throw, it's Orji. He uncorks one deep, and he pulls it in inside the 15-yard line. Slippery slide, find his way and ran away from the crowd into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverine. They'll line up to go for two. Touch pass on the run. He's not going to make it in, and the decision to go for two does not work out. This is really aggressive here. Still just a one-possession game in the third quarter, and they're going for the onside kick. Not much drives more anxiety than waiting to see if the hands team can corral the onside kick, and they do. Offense getting set for first down. Quarterback making adjustments with his receivers. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. That's caught. It's Ocha. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
And that's kind of a lot of today's running game, right? Spit the ball out quick, get it to your playmakers in space, get positive yards. It's instead of running the ball a couple yards up the middle, now you just spit it out wide, and a lot of times if you break a few tackles, it could be even bigger.
He's looking for an open man on second down. Those two failed to make the connection. It's an incomplete pass. Third and long coming from the 27-yard line. You can make a field goal from here. Just don't take a negative play. To throw, it's Hawkins. Throws to the tight end. And the missed connection on third down.
Got to give the defense credit on that play, taking everything away, forcing the incompletion. Now it's decision time. 4th and short, and you're in field goal range. What do you do here?
This offense has already converted once on 4th down. Can they do it again? He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Fires deep toward the end zone. And it's incomplete. The long pass on 4th down is to no avail.
And that is a big-time drop right there. 4th down, opportunity to catch it, maybe get the 1st down. That is tough to swallow, but as a QB, I got to walk over to him and say, listen, dude, we're going to need you later on. I still believe it.
Working the middle, it's complete. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be 2nd and just a few breaths away from the 1st down. He's looking to throw. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming. To the ground to try to pick up the 1st. They were all over him. Nowhere to go as that 3rd down play turned into a disaster. On 4th down, trying to find his man. And the incomplete pass turns it over in their own end.
That is just a play you have got to be able to come up with. They don't get bigger than that. 4th down, you've got to make the catch. Whether it's a perfect throw or whether it's off of your body, you're good enough and you're athletic enough to haul that play, and you've got to make the play for your quarterback and your offense to keep that drive alive, and he's not able to come up with it.
Scanning the field, it's Hawkins. Unloads to the wideout. It's complete. Just making a play, getting it to the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Quarterback checking the play. Comes out throwing on 1st down. Looking to the big tight end. And they're not on the same page there. Not sure exactly what went haywire there, but the timing was just off.
And that's your job as a defense, right? You got to find a way to disrupt the timing and jam wide receivers or get to the quarterback and make him feel uncomfortable, but you can't let that timing be easy and effortless. Nice job by the defense.
He'll pull it down and run. And that defense doesn't allow a cutback, and they get him out of bounds after a short gain.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, Oklahoma 17, Michigan 13.
Now facing a 3rd down as they come back to the line after the break. The snap sets up to throw. Using his feet to buy time. He snares it in the end zone. Touchdown Sooner. Lining up to add another. And the extra point is up and good, and they have an 11-point 4th quarter lead. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. He'll bring it out. And he loses the ball deep in his own end. Kicking team's got it. Top Welcome, everybody, and we are fired up for another sensational college football matchup. Nobody at home today who can stake their claim in this neutral site showdown. We're really looking forward to this matchup. You've got a team that's made its way into the top 25, now trying to pass an all-important road test. As we'll see, the number 14 team in the country, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, taking on a team from the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Time to get this game started. Looking for a strong kick to get this one underway. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. Offense set on first down. Now the quarterback changing the original play call. Looking to go up top on first down. Fires to the wideout. And it was worth the gamble, but the long pass is incomplete.
Quarterback trying to attack the middle of the field. I like the aggressive nature, but his receivers aren't 9 feet tall. No one's going to catch that. No one can climb the ladder. You got to bring it down a little bit.
To the air, it's Arnold. It's complete on the right side. And he runs through one tackle and picks up a few. Sometimes it's not about a fancy play design. It's about just getting him the ball and letting him play.
Especially nowadays with running backs being so good out of the backfield. You know they're going to catch it, and there's so many ways to use them. But exactly, get it to him, let him break tackles, let him make...
Afterburner's coming. He's at the 20. Touchdown Sooners! And once he got loose, it was all over. You want to talk about a great way to start the game and set the tone early.
It's so nice to have a quarterback just get himself into the game, get himself established. You make a couple throws, you lead your offense down the field, you score right off the bat. Could not have been a better start for that QB.
Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15.
First and 10.
First down for this offense. Oops, someone moved just a bit early, and the offense is going to pick up a penalty. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. The offense lining up for a first down play. The corners are walked up tight. Back to throw, it's Leonard. Receiver looks it in, it's complete. Stopped after making the catch. Notre Dame right back to the line. Looking to throw on second down. What a job to lay out and make the catch. With a first down, they'll snap it from the 32. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their first of the half. Wonder if they'll be conservative on first and 10. Finds the tight end. And he gets it to the 45-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Here come the Irish again, this time doing it through the air.
And getting a little balance, right? We talked about how they like to be physical and they like to run the football. But when you get that balance going, man, it makes it easy to call plays, start to settle in, everything looking good on offense.
And guys, this can be a great time to look for a big play on second and inches. He's looking to throw. Unloads to the wideout. A little too much on that one, just out of his reach. Might be decision time if the defense can get a stop on third down from the 45. Trying to pick it up on the ground. And that'll be enough to give Notre Dame a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Wants to throw on first down. And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes. This drive facing a little adversity now after that last play. It's 2nd and 20. Pre-snap motion quarterback trying to get a read. Looking for a man. It's Leonard. Throws to the wideout. And it's intercepted. A turnover for the defense. Made the play on the pick, was hoping to make one on the return. He'll have to settle for letting the offense pay it off from the 26.
What a nice catch by the defensive back. Listen, a lot of times you see DBs get in position to make plays, but there's a reason they play DB and not wide receiver. Great job finishing the interception, catching the ball, making a big play.
Caught near the sticks. It's Alchuk. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a first down. Fresh set of downs after the completion. Quarterback reacting to what the D is showing. Motion from the offense. To the air on first down. Makes the grab. Good job running that route to get past the sticks because he got nothing after the catch. The offense has it now at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. He's going to pass. He'll take a shot. And that one is right on target if his target was the first row.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened. He didn't look open as it is, and the QB's trying to make a play, trying to force the ball, but at least he threw it where his guy could catch it or nobody could catch it.
They're going to throw it again. Fires downfield. And he just overshot his man and threw it out of bounds, incomplete. Third down conversions are a huge stat, and this one would be a doozy if they can pull it off. Fast motion from the offense. Looking to throw, it's Arnold. Skips away from pressure. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up.
This is a point where you just got to be able to focus. The critical down and distances in this game, like that third down right there. When it's a good throw, you got to make the catch. You got to be able to make that play.
They're throwing for it on fourth down. Finds his man and they convert. And he goes down right there, but a solid pickup, and it'll be a first down.
Well, their success running the ball really helped them there on that fourth down because they dialed up the bootleg. Lots of people on defense thought it was the back who had the ball. That was just real easy pitch and catch for the quarterback out on the perimeter, and now we've got a fresh set of downs.
Working that left side now. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense.
Stop me when you've heard this before. First down. First down. First down. Just continuing to put first downs together. So far, this defense just can't find any answers.
Quarterback checking off. They're looking to pass from the red zone. Lets it fly deep downfield. He makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. And the extra point pushes the lead to 14. So it's a 73-yard touchdown drive. And they finish it up with a 15-yard scoring toss. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Back to throw, it's Leonard. Flips it out in the flat. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. On second down, he'll fire. Throws for the tight end. He's got it. He's loose. The 20. They finally get him on the ground, but that's the kind of play that will carry momentum into the second quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Oklahoma 14, Notre Dame 0.
Starting off this quarter close enough to smell the goal line. Looking to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Got it! And there were no creases or crevices to run through, and they shove him out of bounds.
Hey, guys, this running back's not just catching checkdowns or swing routes. You can get him vertically down the field and let him go to work, especially when you get man coverage. Take advantage.
They've pushed it ahead to the 4. They'll try to cash in on second and goal. Little touch pass to the receiver. And he was thinking 6, but that D knocks him down at the 2.
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside. David, it puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses love to run it. It makes the defense communicate and see if you can just get him out of his spot.
They keep attacking through the air. And it's incomplete and the defense holds.
Yeah, sometimes the best defense is getting a little bit lucky. He was open. He had a chance to make a play. He just drops it through his hand. It was pretty good defense, but you take those breaks when you can get it.
He'll start this drive firing. Got his man to the left. Tackled, but he has a first down.
It's a really nice job making the play. You think about all the success they've had with Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray in recent years, but a big reason why those guys had success was they had big-time players on the perimeter getting open and making plays, too. It wasn't just all the quarterback position. They brought in some big-time recruits from high school at the receiver spot. This guy's no different. He has a chance to be the next great Sooner receiver.
And that's your goal. Separate man from ball. Try to get your shoulder in there on the catch point and really give him something to think about. Physically jar that football and knock it out. Nice job by the defender.
They'll go back to the air on second down. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line. The Irish generating heat from the linebacker position. Mike Stonebreaker, Manti Te'o type play.
Hey, when you can get linebackers that can get after the quarterback, that can be a force on first, second, and third down, get in the quarterback's face, make his life heck. Really nice job by the linebacker there.
And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
QBs and receivers on third down, everything has to happen just a split second sooner. You're expecting pressure, the quarterback gets hit, just not on the same page with his target.
On fourth down, they'll pass for it. Fires to the right. Makes the catch, he's got enough. He's run out of bounds, but not before turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down. The Sooners are rolling down the field. Quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. The defense wouldn't let him loose it, even though it's a completion. They lost yardage.
Got to give the defense credit. Watching film, anticipating. They knew that this offense had this play in their back pocket. They knew about the speed of this wide receiver and different ways they were going to try to get him involved. Everybody on defense on the same page, playing together. I love it.
Quarterback floating away from pressure. And with not much doing downfield, he found his parents open in the stands and threw it to them.
A nice job by the quarterback there. You're outside the pocket, nobody's open, so you throw the ball away knowing that you still have more chances to get this first down.
Seventh play of the drive coming up, and a long way to go on third down. Wide receiver coming across in motion. Quarterback changing the plays at the line. Looking downfield, it's Arnold. They were trying to work the outside, and he played that perfectly and almost got the pick.
Well, the offense is trying to throw for it in their own end on third down, and quarterback receiver not quite on the same page, and they're lucky because that was almost picked off.
They're a perfect 2 for 2 on fourth down. They'll go for the hat trick. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Quarterback adapting. He'll get rid of it. Makes a grab enough for the first. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
That's a great example of the receiver knowing exactly where the first down marker is. He got the depth he needed to get, so once he was able to make the catch, he already knew he had it, and now a fresh set of downs.
Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down.
Well, this offense has come out slinging the pill. They are throwing it. They are trying to be aggressive. We're only in the second quarter, guys. Already, this guy has over 200 yards passing.
He wants to throw, trying to get to it. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
This pass rush is serious, man. When you watch them on film, they do a nice job in the back end, taking away all the throws downfield. He's trying to get to his check down, but that pressure gets to him, and the hit forced the incomplete.
Receivers telling the quarterback what they see. Back to the air one more time. He'll take the deep shot. And it's incomplete, going for the massive explosive play instead. They're looking at a third down.
This defense is going to have to make some adjustments here at halftime because they have been taken advantage of deep down the field in the passing game. They've already given up 2 TD passes. That was almost number 3, and we're only in the first half.
They were on the move, but 2 straight incompletions had them staring at 3rd and 10. Looking to pass. It's Arnold. Throws to the tight end. He makes a catch. That is exactly what you're looking for when you talk explosive plays. The defense finally able to make the stop. The Sooners have it with a 1st and 10. From the red zone, looking for a space. Going for it all. And he was trying to pay off this red zone opportunity, but it's incomplete.
Well, the game plan's been pretty simple offensively, right? They are taking shots, and they're being aggressive, throwing it down the field. This guy's already got 2 touchdown passes. We're still in the first half. And on that last one, he was looking for number 3.
Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. After the incompletion, they go back up top. Pocket starts to collapse. Quarterback tried to scramble around for a while, but the defense able to bring him down. The clock will stop with this timeout from the offense. They'll get a chance to regroup on the sideline. Let's see what they've dialed up on 3rd and long from the 22. The receivers often will run their route based on a side adjustment. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. Fires left. And the ball is picked off. Takes it the other way. He'll finally go out of bounds, but he was showing off all the skills after that interception.
Well, the defense was expecting pass on that one. 3rd and long, they dial up the perfect coverage and a great job in the back end, reading and reacting to the quarterback when the ball was in the air, coming away with them.
And he intercepts it. He'll try to take it back. Touchdown Sooner. What a great play by the defense and paying it off with the interception return. The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead.
That makes the score Oklahoma 21, Notre Dame 0.
You get that touchdown right before the half, build the momentum, and the last thing you need to do is mess it up by allowing a big kickoff return. He'll bring it out. It's Bob. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback.
Notre Dame offense will take over 1st and 10.
Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. Going up top on 1st down. And he's picked off again. His night vision hasn't been up to speed. His third interception. And they get the takeaway and prevent points from going up just before the end of the half. Just enough time for one final play in this half. Back to pass, it's Arnold. Looking to the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
Number 6 with the catch in the end zone.
And they'll try to tack on 2. Trying to punch it in. Several defenders get an assist on that tackle.
And these decisions to go for 2, you see more and more of it throughout a game, chasing points. And then in the end, you wonder if this just comes back to bite you.
And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. One more snap coming before halftime. He's looking to throw it. Going downfield for the big play. And it's his 4th interception of the night. And the defender is tackled, and that's how we'll run out the first half.
That's the end of the first half. With the score, Oklahoma 27, Notre Dame 0.
And the Sooners will kick it off to start the second half. Coming out with it, it's Young. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Here come the Irish, back on offense. Got blown out in the first half and now just desperate to find anything to generate momentum here in the third quarter.
It just starts with one play, though. You just need one thing to go right for this offense to start to build that momentum, and then that becomes infectious for the defense, for special teams. Everything can change. It just takes one play.
It really can, and it's so strange, and you can't quantify it. I don't know how to describe it as a coach or as a player, but you've got to make something happen, and it's got to start on this drive.
Finds a tight end. And they'll finally bring him down after he rips off a huge play. Now from the 40, it's 1st and 10. Caught in the backfield, it's Collins. Oh, ball's out. Defense just cradling that fumble and securing it. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
Now, this is a receiving group that practices making catches in traffic, and they're used to having guys trying to rip it free. He's got to do a better job of keeping 5 points of pressure after he makes the catch.
He'll off one deep down the left side. And he makes the catch inside the 15. They get him down, but this offense is set up 1st and goal from the 9. And that big gainer on the last one has him ready to go from inside the 10. Looking for a man. It's Arnold. Quarterback moving. Touchdown Sooners! And the beatdown has ensued. They'll try to add another to their lead. Oh, do you just hate to see it? Blew the extra point. Well, they didn't exactly milk the clock on that drive, did they? 2 plays and into the end zone for the touchdown. The kickoff team out there and ready to go.
Set to kick off.
He thought about bringing that out for a half second, but he'll take a knee and they'll bring it to the 25. Notre Dame has the ball and ready to get moving. This one feels as if it's starting to get away from them a little bit, Jesse.
Yeah, Reese, there's a lot of teams in college football.
And his 5th interception of the game, a miracle they haven't pulled him yet.
Have a day, young fellow. 2 interceptions already? That's 3, 4, 5, 6 games for some people. A hot start, catching the football. He's acting like he's playing wide receiver out there. I might think about trying a different DB.
Fires to the wideout. Grabbed in the middle. It's Burks. They get him stopped at the 5-yard line, but it will be first and goal from there.
A nice job by the offense there, attacking the middle of the field. Excellent route, finding the soft spot in the defense. Nice job by the quarterback putting it right on his guy.
Quarterback will audible. He's looking to throw. He's moving out of the pocket. Pressure's there, and he lets it go. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be second down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Dropping back, it's Arnold. They're trying to get to it. He just tossed that one out of bounds. You avoid the sack, you avoid the turnover. You've got more plays here on third down. Trying to pick up a first down. On third and goal, they'll try to throw it in. Might be looking to run. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line.
And the offense, man, he couldn't find anybody open. Like, somebody's got to create some separation, or what do? How about I throw a jump ball to one of my big receivers out wide that can go up and dunk on somebody's head and catch the football? Maybe find my big playmakers and try to force them the ball down here in the red zone.
They'll run play action. Pressure coming. And they got him. A sack denies the try to convert on fourth down.
Man, that stings. You go all the way down the field. You get a fourth and goal situation, and the offense comes up small. The defense gets the sack. No points for you.
And they're not quite in rhythm there. It's incomplete. After the misfire, now on second down. He's looking to throw. Wide open downfield. Hit the gas, kid. Wide open ahead. And he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Fighting Irish.
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, gets you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback, wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
Looking downfield, it's Leonard. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
No good. That keeps the score.
After that score, they'll try to build some momentum here in the third quarter and get it back with an onside kick. And a few anxious moments, but the hands team is able to fall on it. Guys, we'll get another look at this Oklahoma offense. That fourth down gamble didn't pay off on the last drive, and it led to giving up a scoring drive, David.
Yeah, and everybody wants to go for it on fourth down. Everybody wants that, but your defense sometimes has to bail out your decision-making. We decided to go for it. We didn't get it. The defense, Jesse, didn't come up big and prove me right.
Yeah, not complimentary football, no doubt. But look, this offense has been in these situations before, so you got to come back out here, take the field. It's a fresh set of downs, brand new drive. Let's go out and execute, put some points on the board.
Yeah, and I like the shot, the aggressive play down the field. We like throwing those jump balls up to my receiver, because usually the receiver makes the play and makes the defender look bad. Nice job by the defender getting a hand on it, tipping that ball away from the wide receiver.
He makes the connection. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down. The Sooners come to the line with a new set of downs. Quarterback making adjustments with his receivers. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. What a snag by the defense. Bringing it back. And they capitalize not only on the pick, but on the great return to improve this field position.
We've just seen in this game the ball has just gotten away from him a little bit. A couple of times, just hasn't been able to put it where he wants to. And as a result, that's now his second pick thrown in this game.
Looking to move it through the air. Got the quick pass. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a first down. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Dropping back, it's Leonard. Going to throw it over the top of the D. Nearly another interception. It'll be second down.
You've seen a lot of good hands in the back end of this defense in this game. They've got multiple interceptions. That was not a good example, though. That should have been another one, but they say people play defense for a reason.
He's taking the shot. And he throws yet another interception. Does he know which color jerseys they're wearing? So Oklahoma has it again, and here comes the offense. And boy, they missed an opportunity last time throwing that pick in the red zone, David.
Yeah, and you got to put that frustration behind you. You can't turn it over. That's a cardinal sin. You know better than that, Jesse. You can't take points off the board, but you got to move on.
You do. I think he just got way too overeager down in the red zone that last drive. So just come out here, trust your reads, trust what your coaches have told you to do, and just go out and execute the offense.
After the missed connection, it's second down. Quarterback checking the play. On second down, just keeps firing. Unloads it left. He's got it. Tackle is made after the first down.
It is so hard as a defender to have to stop that big fella from catching the corner route, right? He already has great size and long arms, and he can jump. So what do? I mean, you're not trying to create pass interference and a penalty, but that's just a size mismatch, and the offense took advantage.
First down to start the drive after the break. Use the play fake, now to throw. He wants to go deep. And they couldn't make the connection on the long shot.
I'm a little bit surprised they're still throwing the football here this late in the game with this kind of lead. They're on first down, taking a shot, falls incomplete, but obviously they're still seeing matchups that they want to take advantage of in the back end of this defense, so they're letting it fly.
They want to just keep throwing it. Makes the catch. It's Thompson. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34. A really nice day from this quarterback. Over 350 yards passing now, Jeff.
He's had a plan all game long. He just seems to find his best matchups, and he's done an awesome job giving his guys opportunities to make plays.
It's complete to the left. He knew exactly where he wanted to go with that one, and they've got enough for the first down.
You know, the defense, they just haven't been able to find an answer for this guy throughout the course of the game. Obviously, he's got 2 touchdowns, picks up the first down there. They've tried doubling him. They've tried man coverage, zone coverage. Nothing working on defense. They can't stop him.
And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete. They'll line up for a second down play. Now the quarterback changing the original play call. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. This time it's complete.
And a great job by the QB finding the running back, get him the football where he can do some damage after the catch, and most importantly, get the first down.
It's 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Use the play fake, now to throw. And it's picked off again. His night vision hasn't been on par. Taking it the other way. Touchdown, Notre Dame! How about that D coming up with a play like that?
Number 20. Defense is
Now a two-point conversion attempt coming up. To the air, it's Leonard. Looking to the big tight end. He's got it in the end zone for the two as they trim more off of that lead. They're lining up to kick it off after the pick six, and that defense will come out feeling it. Fair catch, called for and made. Here comes the Oklahoma offense. And now one of the most satisfying moments in football, just watching that clock drain away while you have control of the ball, Jesse.
And this is definitely one of the best play callers, right, for an offensive coordinator. You're getting ready to go into victory formation. So many good things happened today. It seemed like everything he was dialing today, David, ended up working out.
No doubt. They put a lot of highlights together, put a great offensive game together, complete football game. They get the win. On to next week.
Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on first down. It's 2nd and 3. They'll run it. They want to take their time here. The Sooners pick up the first down.
That's got to be demoralizing if you're the defense. You're trailing. You need to get the ball back. You got to get off the field, but you can't stop the run when they're going between the tackles. This defense is going to have to get a lot more physical, especially in the middle.
After picking up this first down on the ground, let's see what they do. Takes the handoff. It's Barnes. Pretty good effort on that one to work his way up to the 42.
Really nice first down run. And you're seeing why this running back is an every down type. He can run between the tackles. He can run outside. He can catch the football. He can block. This guy can do it all.
I know a lot of people thought this was going to be a blowout, but this team said, just when you think you have all the answers, I change the questions.
It's so true, Reese. I mean, they had a lot of dudes that we were talking to leading up to this game just had a chip on their shoulder. They just didn't feel like they were being respected, and they wanted to come out and they wanted to prove a point. And, David, they did exactly just that.
And it's so much easier to be the underdog. It's so much easier to coach that team and you go, hey, they're ranked. Everybody's talking about them. You don't have a chance. It just builds all that momentum, all that hate, and you just pour it out on the field.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.